Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video, the video that I actually don't want to make. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so it's that time of year. It's Christmas, so depending when you're watching this, it may be a completely different time of the year. But anyway, I decided to slightly treat myself, and as most of you know, I've used the Skull Shaver Pitball, which I do on a relatively regular basis, although not that regular as you can possibly see at the moment. But there is a good reason for that, because I've actually treated myself to a new blade. This is the Baron 4. This is basically their top of the range blade, so if you've got slightly sensitive skin or you just want a super close shave, this is the cream of the crop. It's not entirely cheap, so you're looking at $39.99 here in the UK for this particular blade set. It's basically a complete head, so you just attach it to your shaver, so it's quite easy to swap over. But it does actually kind of benefit because you've got additional cutting blades, etc, etc. It is actually a very different design, and you'll see that as you look at some of the B-roll. Also, because obviously being a gentleman of a certain age, I get hair growing out of kind of basically any orifice available. So I figured I use this all the time anyway. I'm fed up of trying to pull nose hairs out with pliers, tweezers, you name it, burn them out, wax them out, all that kind of stuff. It's a real pain, literally. So I figured that they've actually started doing this. This is a foil shaver set with a nose hair trimmer. Now you can buy both of those separately if you want to. They're about £10 each, which is a pretty decent price. But if you buy the two together, you get them a little bit cheaper. So it's like $14.99 plus a few pounds postage. So I figured, hey, what could possibly go wrong? And I could make a video to report back to see if it's actually worth buying. So if you are in a similar situation where you've maybe already invested in your Pitbull shaver, but you're still thinking, well, how do I do those other bits of my body that the shaver really kind of isn't designed to do? So yeah, we're going to give this a test on camera and see what it's all about. So let's go through first of all. I'm not entirely sure which way to start with this. I think I'm probably going to start with this. Let's go with the trimmer and see what we get. So in the box there is, as you'd expect, both devices. So you've got the nose hair trimmer and also the foil shaver and trimmer. And there is a little instruction guide. Tells you basically how to attach it, how to clean it, and all that kind of usual stuff. So no surprises there. And on the back, they've got basically a list of all the different items that Skull Shaver do. If you're not sure and you've not used Skull Shaver before, they actually do a ton of different blades. So it's not like you just buy your Pitbull and that is it. It's done with. You can get 3 different types of blades, which are the Carver, the Forte, and the Baron. Which is basically, Carver is kind of coarse skin, Forte is medium in what is normally included out of the box. And if you want to go to the top of the range, you get the Baron. And also there are 3 versions of these as well. So you've got the 3 head, the 4 head, and the 5 head version. So depending which you prefer, then go for whichever you want. The 3 I think probably works best for the face, the 4 for the head, the 5 as well for if you've got particularly sensitive skin because you've got a larger surface area. The 5 is probably the way to go, but a little bit harder to clean. You make up your own choice. So the trimmer, get this thing out. So most of us have seen these before. If you've got to a certain age, you've probably used these at one point or other. So you've got a foil section there for shaving kind of general most areas. This is going to be great for things like areas that you wouldn't normally shave with your traditional shaver. So thinking like private areas, personal areas, armpits, doing your balls, all that kind of stuff. That is probably what you're going to be using that for. The trimming section, if maybe you've bought one of these just because you use it to shave your face, you don't necessarily shave your head, then maybe you've got the beard bits coming down the side, or maybe you've got a goatee or a full beard and you just want to trim that, you don't want to shave it all off, then you can use the trimming sections to do all those kinds of things. Or alternatively, you may want to do some kind of intricate pattern on your nether regions. It's up to you. Do whatever you want to do with it. I'm probably not going to do that, but it definitely could do with a trim down there. The other part of the package is the nose hair trimmer, and again, this is going to be suitable for either your nose or your ears. I guess you can pretty much use it wherever you want to, but it is essentially designed for that. It's got a protective cap on there. To clean it out, it's pretty easy. Just twist it and it unlocks. You can pull the head off and give that a rinse under the tap, keep it all hygienic and all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, it's pretty decent. It feels actually well made. I've used these kind of trimmers before, the nose hair trimmers, especially like the ones we pick up off maybe Alibaba, cheap sites, maybe even cheap sellers on Amazon. They all feel really plasticky and quite cheap. This actually feels quite sturdy. So in order to use it, take your head off your existing shaver and literally push it in as you would normally and twist, and it locks into place. So that is ready to go. Yeah, that is absolutely perfect. So no issues there. And again, the same with the trimmer. Just lock them in, twist it into position, and there you go. You're ready to go. So that is pretty straightforward and easy. Now you're probably thinking, actually, how do you know when your blades are done? Now they do say that you should replace them every 3 months, which I feel personally is way too soon. I think you can get a little bit more life out of them. If you want to know how to get a little bit more life out of them, we actually did a video on how to prolong the blades on these things. So feel free to check that out. I'll put that in the video description so you can take a look at that. But essentially, I've had this shaver since February 2022, and I've been using the blade kind of most days up until now, which is essentially the last couple of days of 2022. So it's basically lasted 10 months at least. So the 3 month thing, I think, yeah, you can definitely stretch that out to maybe at least 6. I probably have left this one go a little bit too long, but you can definitely hear it. So this is my original one, I believe. I'll be able to tell because it'll sound completely different. So this is the original one. So you can hear what that sounds like with the new one. There's definitely a different tone to it. It feels, or it sounds smoother. And actually, even through the shaver head itself, it just feels like there's not so much vibration. So let's hear the old one again. I think even coming through a microphone, depending on what device you're listening on, I think you'll definitely hear that. This feels kind of loose, I guess you'd call it, and that is where you've got springs in there, you've got the blades, they are sprung as well, and eventually that's all going to break down. And also the blades are self-sharpening as well, so they actually sharpen themselves on the foils, which is why you get that squeal every now and then, because it's just resharpening the edge of the blade. There's only so many times that it can do that before it wears down the metal to a point where it's not going to be really sharp enough. So anyway, that is how to tell if you need new blades. So anyway, with that out of the way, let's give this a go. So I'm going to try the nose hair trimmer and see how that is. Lock that into place, and yeah, for those of you that don't like this sort of thing, probably best to look away now. You don't have to shove it right up your nose, but you can definitely feel where it's actually chopping away. Now you can hear, ironically, this side is actually worse. And that's because I did pluck some the other day from the other side. Well, it's not nicking or kind of pulling, which you do get with some of those cheaper models. It does pull like crazy with some of them. I think that's probably enough. Ready for my close-ups now. Awesome. So obviously when you're done with that, actually you can do the ears as well. Just no pain, no discomfort. I'm not too sure if it's getting all the hairs on the outside of the ear. Then you can use the foils for that anyway. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. No pain, no discomfort. Absolutely fine. So that can be obviously cleaned at some point after the video. Let's take a look at the foil and see what that's all about. So you can use this as well because you've got the edges on there. You can use that. So if your beard has got a little bit too long, or you're slightly concerned that it might pull a little bit because you haven't shaved recently enough, ideally these sorts of blades should be used on kind of every 1 or 2 day stubble. This is about 3 or 4 days, so it's a little bit longer. So you can use one of these, use the trimmer, and you can just trim. You can hear it. So again, if you want that designer stubble look, because this isn't going to go completely flat down, then this is going to be absolutely fine. And it's not going to be as clean a shave. There's already some bits on pieces on there. Not going to be as clean a shave as using the Skull Shaver, the Forte, Carver, etc. Because they do hold on to the debris, whereas this kind of isn't going to such an extent. And of course you can use the foil as well, so you can use it as you would a normal shaver. It's a little bit on the long side for using the foil, but For certain areas, underarms, all that sort of thing, doing your back, your neck. Your neck's actually going to be a good one because you find sometimes with those blades a little bit too close. So if you do the back of your neck and your shoulders, etc., where it gets a little bit longer, but that is going to kind of not be brilliant because it's a relatively sensitive area because it's not used to being shaved all the time, so it hasn't hardened up. So you might find using this, because it isn't quite as close, might be better off for you for doing your back of your neck and that sort of stuff. So yeah, anyway, it is what it is. So that is that. Seems to work as intended. I will be doing a full dusting of the crops later on and see how that goes, and I'll report back in the video to let you know how that goes. I'm not going to show it on YouTube because I would like to keep the channel. So this is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So I'm saving this to last. This is the Baron blade. So this, in theory, should be super, super smooth and very close. So let's see how that goes. Now I always start by going with the grain, just to get the longer bits out. That seems to work well. It does feel nice actually, it feels quite soft in comparison. It's hard for me to tell actually how well this is doing, but I think that'll do for now. That feels better. That's pretty smooth, and no razor burn. Happy days. So let's see what it's like on the old Barnet. No, I think that'll do. That's pretty nice. I'm not sure if it's quite as close as the previous blade, although it does feel quite nice. But I have let it go a little bit longer than what I would do normally. So there we go. It's all done and dusted. Actually, it feels pretty good. I feel quite clean and refreshed now. I was getting a little bit, yeah, a little bit grubby looking. So I've got a live stream to do tonight, which is ironically it's Christmas Eve here in the UK. So yeah, nice clean shave for Christmas, ready to go. I feel like I've possibly missed a little bit, or could have been a little bit more done there. That is the thing when you're doing things live on camera, or at least on a camera. It's very hard to concentrate on everything that's going on. So yeah, it is what it is. But I think it actually looks fine. You wouldn't notice, you wouldn't stop and say, oh Mike, you've missed a bit. It's absolutely great. And it actually feels really smooth, and considering this is a brand spanking new blade out the packet, I was expecting there to be a little bit of squealing where the blades were kind of bedding in, all that kind of stuff, or some razor burn or any heat. But actually no, it's absolutely fine. There's no soreness, no irritation, no nothing. So this, I feel, is going to be the blade for me. I did find when I first used the Forte blade for the very first time, I did find there was a little bit of discomfort because I figured it was the blades bedding in, but maybe it's just my skin type prefers this kind of this slightly softer, better blade. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you've got a Pitbull shaver, please let me know what the deal is, if you're enjoying it. Or are you finding that when you've used it for the first time that maybe you're getting a couple of razor bumps or a little bit of discomfort? Maybe that is all you needed to do, is just to upgrade your blade to the Baron blade. Wow, that's hard to say. But don't worry, there's links in the video description. We are actually affiliated, so if you do buy things from Pitbull, I've got to say this, we do get a very, very small commission. They're not paying us to say anything, but obviously we do get a small kickback. Much like we do with pretty much everything that we do, like Amazon, all that kind of stuff, there's always links in the videos. It's the way we keep this channel going. So if you want to help us out and you're already a Pitbull customer, then feel free to use the links in the video description. If you're just curious, or maybe you're someone who is slightly thinning and deciding whether or not to take the plunge, just do it. Get yourself one of these, shave the lot off, and have a happier, shiny head. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up for now. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to all of you. And yeah, that's going to wrap things up. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. And hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.